Find the person who is doing what you want to do better than you are doing it and just get around them and learn from them.
I'm Maud Léger, and this is the Realtors Conspiracy Podcast, where we crack the code to real estate success. Learn from top realtors, entrepreneurs, and innovators about how to grow your business as we discuss real estate success stories, mindset, processes, motivations, and the key to their success. Check out our podcast episodes every Monday to crack the code to success for your real estate business. This week, I'm speaking with Greg Sykes from REMAX Niagara. Greg shares his energy, wisdom, awesome experiences he creates for his clients, and how he empowers his team to succeed. One of his secrets is to create music videos for each listings. So let's get to my chat with Greg. Hi Greg, thanks so much for joining us today. Tell us right away, what is the key to your success?
Hi, you know what? Thanks so much for having me. I would say my key to success is not doing this journey alone. Having a team with me, people who believe in me and work alongside me to help me do more than I could ever do as a solo person.
I love it. Tell us about your team. Who's on your team? What do they do?
I have 4 agents, and we are all buyer and seller agents. And I have one full-time administrative person who is she started as my assistant, and now she's also our team administrator. And we have a nearly full-time photographer and videographer as well, who we keep pretty busy, who works very hard for us, with us.
That's amazing. Very cool. Yeah. And then tell me about your marketing and everything that you do for your business.
So the heartbeat of our marketing is video. Mm-hmm. When COVID happened, one of my best friends, who is Canada's most viewed wedding videographer, if you search him, Dave Tebbett, T-E-B-B-U-T-T, he's been on Good Morning America and Ellen, and he's just the most amazing videographer, particularly for weddings in the country. And when COVID happened and all his weddings got canceled, he said, Sykes, we should put more emphasis on video for real estate, because it's going to be hard for people to get through houses. Nice. And so we started making slightly unconventional listing videos where I would talk people through the whole house, and I would sort of off the cuff crack jokes and just be a little more relaxed and not be afraid to just be myself or be a bit of a fool even on camera, but just to give people something a little different to watch rather than just a moving camera through the home with cool jazz music, which is great, but I wanted to do things a little bit differently. So it escalated to the point now where most of my listings I create full out music videos for. I come from a past of being a songwriter and a musician. And so I've taken my passion and love for that. And I've found that it's pretty easy to say the same things about a girl as it is to say about a house. Nice. You're beautiful. I want to be with you forever. You're the one of my dreams. There's nobody like you. And if I can just assign the qualities of a lot of the world's best love songs, I can just tweak it and make it fit to a house. And so anyway, it sort of escalated from there. And now for most of my listings, the past 3 or 4 months, I've been doing music videos for them.
Nice. I love it. That's so cool.
You want this house today when you lay eyes on this yard and the double car garage. Then you'll say that I want it right away. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mortgage. Tell me why living here is a privilege. Come and see. I know that I will hear you say that I want this house today.
So I found it fun to just take popular songs and rewrite the lyrics. So keep the melody, keep the familiar tune, give people a reason to watch them. And then they'll say, hey, did you see that house that had the Justin Bieber song? And they share it with their family, or they share it on Facebook. Or, did you see that house that has the Justin Timberlake song? So then I just take popular songs. I can't take credit for those by any means, but just rewrite the lyrics to fit the house.
Nice. I love it. That's so cool. That really makes you stand out and be outside of the box thinking for your marketing. Tell us about your success. Like what your career has gone through? How did you grow your business?
Mm-hmm. So I've been selling real estate for 14 years, but I did it part-time for about 11 years. I was traveling I was living in Nashville for half the year, living in Niagara for the other half of the year. And so when I was home, I would do real estate. And when I was on the road, I was doing music. And that's how I built a team. Was it when I was away, somebody would call and say, hey, we want you to sell our house for us, or there's a house we want to make an offer on. And I would say, ooh, I'm in Nashville, but I didn't want to tell them. So I would say, you know what, I'm busy tonight, but I have so-and-so on my team who's going to come over and do the paperwork for you. And I figured out I could do real estate while also traveling. And so that was, I sort of built a team by accident. I didn't intend to, I never set out to do it. But I found it was a great way to supplement my music career income, because music and real estate go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Then about 3 years ago, I went through sort of a big life change, and with my in my personal life and my family, and I'll be honest, got a divorce and everything changed. And so I thought, I can't travel this much or else I won't be with my kids. So I rented out our home in Nashville and I stayed here, and I said, I'm just going to become a full-time realtor. And I felt very fortunate to have that tool in my tool belt, to have my real estate license. And I already had built a big network of clients and friends who've used me in the past. So I took out every bus bench and garbage can ad that I could in the entire city that was available. So I took out about 40 of them and I just went for it. And I said to everybody on the bench, I like to move it, move it. So, you know, to take that sort of real estate slogan and moving and the music thing. So anybody who knew me went, oh, that's Sykes. He's the singing realtor. And you know what? It's been a crazy few years. I went from doing, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 sales per year to this year, I think we'll do 250 or so transactions this year. And I'm absolutely overwhelmed and very, very grateful.
That's amazing. That's such a success story. It's so cool.
Thank you.
How do you pick the people from your team? How do you select them? What kind of attributes for real estate agents or team member are you looking for?
Well, I actively am not looking to build my team. I want to build who is on my team. Whoever's on my team, I want them to all make $1 million a year. That's my goal. I don't want to just hire. So I'm not actively looking. However, everyone has organically happened. One time I was at the club in our town, the tennis club, White Oaks. It's a gym.
Niagara, yeah.
Yeah. So I was shaving one morning and this guy next to me says, hey, you're Sykes, right? I said, yeah. He said, I'm thinking about getting into real estate, and I've sold my car wash, and I knew the car wash, and it was my favorite car wash in the city. So I said, well, hey, before you decide where you're going to go work, we should get lunch. So he messaged me, and we got a meal. Anyway, he ended up, this 3 years later, he's working on my team. His name is Gary DeMeo, and he's probably sold, I have to count, but he's probably sold about 40 homes this year. And this is his third year in real estate, which is huge, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's huge.
Then there's another lady who organically, she joined our office, and she was on another team, and I really liked her. I'd see her at the office, and I thought, this lady, she's about 25 years older than me, but she's bubbly. She had a mattress business in the GTA. She semi-retired here in Niagara, and her team sort of dissolved. And she was thinking, I heard she was going to join this other team, and we bumped into each other at the office. And I said, hey, Debbie, we'd love to hear about what your vision is and what's happening. And she said, well, I didn't think you were taking anybody on your team, and blah, blah, blah. Long story short, we teamed up, and she's still with me now 3+ years later. Debbie Chawurda is her name. She's amazing. So everything has just been organically, it's just sort of happened.
Mm-hmm. So what's your vision for your team or your business or your growth?
Yes. Well, my vision is for my team, for them as individuals, to double every year until we can't double anymore in terms of volume, dollar production. Yeah. And to be the absolute best people we can be as individuals, as part of a collective, so that if they ever want to move on, or I move to something, else, which I don't plan to, but they will also be able to function as autonomous realtors. So I don't want to build my brand and have a bunch of minions. I want to build a team that, yes, my name is on the team, but I want us all to be so individually recognizable and fruitful that should we ever have to jump out on our own, we will have an easy time doing that, because we've already established ourselves as a collective of individuals.
So empowering. That's very cool.
Thanks.
How do you think, what would you say to realtors, how they can stay on top of their game to grow their business? What are the
You know what? Yeah,
attributes?
one thing inspires me is my dad always said, get around the people who are doing what you want to do better than you can do it and just learn from them. So I look at Ryan Serhant, who I
Yeah.
really like the way he does business. I love the way he conducts himself. And so I just like to study him, watch his interviews. I've read his books a couple of times. Tom Ferry, he's got great podcasts, right? Great resources, free. A lot of it's free, just to invigorate and inspire me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because sometimes I think we feel like we're the only people who struggle with, well, where's my next deal going to come from? Or you struggle with the highs and lows. I made a fortune last week, and now this week, I don't have anything going on.
Yeah.
How do we deal with that? I love the fact that these guys, and there's so many people, not just guys, these people who are going through what we're going through, and they have so many resources to keep us going and as fuel to encourage us. So that's an advice, a bit of advice I would give, is to say, dig into the resources you find from other people who inspire you, and then get up and go do what they're saying. Don't just take it in and then go out and try to do what they're suggesting.
Yes. They're very cool. Continual improvement, right? Education, getting some information anywhere.
Agreed. Yep.
Very cool. How do you leverage your listings? Once you have a listing, you see you do the music video, but how do you make sure to service that client so good that you get your next listing out of it?
Yes. Well, I want to give them an experience worth talking about.
Nice.
So giving them the ability to say, I fell back in love with my listing. That's always my goal. I want people to fall back in love with their house, hopefully not too much, but so much so that they tell their neighbors, and it's infectious, it's contagious. I want them to share all about it on social media. Another thing I do is I give a gift. I leave a gift at every listing for the new buyer to come from me, so that they come in and there's like a little letter board. I'll show you. That says something like, this is my bar here. You see this?
Yeah.
I want to whisk you away. So I leave something like that in every listing that says, thanks a lot for buying, our great listing. Hope you love living here. And then that makes an impact, hopefully, on the actual buyer, right? So not that I want to steal from the other agent, but I also kind of do. So it's not a crime to be kind, right? No. So that's one way. I know a lot of my some of the guys who are doing really well in the area, they'll go and they'll canvass the streets and they'll do all that around. And I should do that, but I don't. I don't do mailers very well. I have a longer list of things I should be doing. I can tell you that.
I feel you're all in the experience anyways, from the buyers, the sellers, the viewers, social media. It's all experience feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very good. I like it. What was a defining moment for you that you really felt success or felt like you were making it as real estate now, since you had two going at the same time?
Well, this is a tough one because I hate being the guy who toots his own horn. But because you asked, what is one moment where I felt was a big moment? This year, my office manager came in, it was late spring, and he put the rankings down on the table of the 1,700 agents in our region, Niagara region. And I was number one. And I went, how did that, this is a misprint. Now, but the thing is, it's not just me, right? I have a team who when they do a deal, it's a transaction count. When I do a deal, it's 1 point. When they do a deal, I get 0.5 of theirs, right? So if they do 30 deals, I get an additional 15 deals marked onto my tally. So it's a team effort. But there are teams of 15, 18 people who we surpassed this year. And we're like the Mighty Ducks. We're like this little and mighty team. That was a moment for me where I screenshotted to the team and I said, look what we did. Wow. And no matter whatever happens, if we go to number 5 or number 18, or who cares? That was a moment that I will never forget. I never thought in a million years, that was never a goal to be number one. I just wanted to make great money and live the life that I want and be present for my kids and be able to be generous. Those are my goals. So anyway, to answer your question, and at the risk of sounding like Mr. Sir Brags a lot, I'm only saying that because I want to answer your question honestly.
Yeah, but it makes sense too that you didn't even know you were going to be number one, and then you get it, and it's a defining moment. I love it.
It was. You're right. Good question.
What are you excited about in industry right now? What's getting you excited, moving?
You know what? I think people are getting more realistic about real estate in terms of the fact that our commissions are being challenged to come down a little bit, but it's also it's realistic. A lot can be done online now, but I'm also encouraged that I don't think we will ever be replaced by online. People will, I believe, always want and need an in-person experience. I will always want to test drive a car.
Yeah.
And so somebody's going to have to be there in the car with me. I want to be the best person who's there, right? And so I'm encouraged about that. I think we can do a lot more from home now. When I first started in real estate, I had to have a fax machine by the bed. And I was even grateful for that fax machine because we didn't have to go and get Mrs. McGillicuddy's signature at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night. Yeah. Now we can do it over DocuSign, which I'm so grateful for.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about the fact that we have an unlimited earning potential. We could make $5 million this year if we really put our minds to it.
Yeah.
And I didn't finish university. Like that's awesome. That's liberating.
It's you. It's who you are. It's what you bring to the table.
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
Nice. Very cool. What is the best advice you've ever received in your career?
I do think it kind of comes back to what I said my dad told me. Find the person who is doing what you want to do better than you are doing it and just get around them and learn from them. I did that in music. I got around the guys who in the genre of music that I was going after had a Grammy or had these awards. And then I just said, hey, can I take you for lunch? I would love to show up at your concert and carry your guitar for you. And it's amazing when you come from a place of what can I do and learn from, like it works. And I ended up befriending these guys and they opened doors for me and got me a record deal and got me a career in music. And same in real estate. About 3 years ago, when my life changed and I said, I'm going to go for this, I took the top 3 or 4 people in our area out for lunch. And I said, I want to know what you spent money on last year that you would never spend again. And I want to know if you're willing to share with me any advice you have. You don't have to, but if you're willing. And it was like the best hour spent with each of these people because I gleaned little things to do and not to do from these people. And now we rub shoulders together and we're learning from each other. So
now you're number one.
Wow. Yeah. At least if not today, I had a moment.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah, so I guess that would be is just to get around people who are doing what you want to do better than you and learn from them.
Yeah. What would be one thing that you learned not to do that you would like to share to other realtors right now?
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So this would be to get hyper competitive and jostle for position with other realtors. One thing that thankfully, again, my mom and dad taught me is to prefer others above yourself. So to take that other agent on the other side of the table and prefer them above you. Now we have to look out for our client, but to treat them as if they're better than you. And then it's amazing how far that goes. Rather than I used to think you had to be, I'm the bulldog. Yes, exactly. I will win no matter what. And that's stupid, right? Because we're going to have, even if we win that little battle, we might lose the war because we're going to need that agent next week if we're on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
And so I think something I've learned is to go out of my way to get along with other agents and not just, because sometimes I've asserted myself to other realtors, even when I was right, to prove a point, and it sort of backfires. Yeah. And it's embarrassing. I've had to go to some agents and say, hey, so-and-so, a couple of years ago on that competing offer thing, I was a real jerk. Can you forgive me? And now we've got great relationship moving forward. And it's amazing how much that has paid off.
That's amazing. The integrity behind this too.
Well, trying. That's certainly, I'm trying.
And you said it perfectly. You will be at the table on the other side another time, another deal, another house, and whatever. So you have to be.
Agreed. Yep. It's wisdom.
Nice. Wisdom. I love it. You have awesome energy. So cool to talk to you.
You too.
Yeah, thank you.
Too.
Thanks for joining. Subscribe to our podcast, Realtors Conspiracy, today.